Hey guys, welcome back to Top NBA. Today, we're going to be diving into part 1 of the NBA's top trade targets and where they will land. Let's get right into it. First up, Harrison Barnes, Minnesota Timberwolves. According to Bleacher Report, the Minnesota Timberwolves are still one of the most consistent Ben Simmons suitors. Their most competitive packages will almost certainly require a third and maybe a fourth partner to oil the wheels of a sale. The emphasis is clearly on bolstering the front court rotation alongside Karl Anthony Towns. Jared Vanderbilt has spent the majority of the year courting second-team all-defense honors, while Jaden McDaniels is so quick on the less glamorous end. However, Minnesota has plenty of opportunity for improvement, particularly on defense, where it ranks 17th in points per possession and 24th in effectiveness on wide-open jumpers outside of 10 feet. Harrison Barnes appears to be an exceptionally natural fit. He can spend the majority of his time shooting threes inside the flow of the offense, but he also provides supplemental self-creation when given adequate space. Placing him at the 4 position should not devastate the defense. Vanderbilt is more aggressive, but Barnes out-rebounds McDaniels, Jake Layman, and these days, Taurean Prince. Minnesota can toil with bringing him off the bench if it's understandably afraid of upsetting a starting unit that's making mincemeat of opponents. Putting together viable bids shouldn't be too difficult either. The Timberwolves have enough mid-level contracts to match with some combination of McDaniels, Naz Reid, and selections, and Barnes should not command as much as Simmons. Next up, De'Aaron Fox, Indiana Pacers. The pursuit of De'Aaron Fox fits the Pacers' strategy of pivoting without tanking. They feel obligated to do something, anything, big to untether themselves from a core that is underachieving and never fully available, becoming stale at the point of assault. Despite his flaws, Fox represents a significant improvement. He's still in the 92nd percentile of the B-Ball Index's overall finishing at the rim rating, which takes volume, efficiency, and some degree of difficulty into account. It just so happens that he might be available as well. At least competing teams feel so, according to Yahoo Sports. This corresponds to the Sacramento Kings' aimlessness. Whether they're buying or selling, almost everyone should be available. Fox, who's only 24 years old and has 4 years left on his contract, offers indefinite energy. The Pacers also have resources to flush out suggestions. Domantas Sabonis should pique the Kings' interest if they lose Fox. If he's ruled out for Indiana, multi-team possibilities involving Miles Turner, Carmelo Anthony, and the hashtag should be considered. The Pacers' defense will suffer if Turner is included in the prospective trade packages if Fox is paired with Sabonis. That does not spell the end of the world. When Sabonis gets the ball, Fox can fly around the floor, and Indiana should be looking for an infusion of material at large change more than it needs to maintain a bottom 10-ish defense. Next up, Jeremy Grant, Memphis Grizzlies. Sentimentus will oppose the Memphis Grizzlies actively acquiring players at the trade deadline. They're way ahead of schedule, on a honeymoon pace that allows them to do, well, nothing. Nonetheless, the NBA's competitive landscape is constantly shifting, and the Grizzlies are now among the finest contestants. They're 24-4 in their last 25 games, with the league's best defense and top 3 offense, and only the Phoenix Suns have a better record against teams above 500. With Ja Morant's strong top 5 MVP case and all, this squad isn't a fluke. They have the authority to purchase. If the Grizzlies can't or won't go more nuclear, Jeremy Grant represents a great medium ground. He can play the 3 or 4, learning the intricacies of his offensive arsenal. In Detroit will benefit him well when he becomes the Memphis number 3-ish option. Ideally, the Grizzlies would look for someone with superior ball skills and a more consistent finish near the basket. Their offense, on the other hand, makes do with a hyper-focus on transition, second-chance opportunism, floater-range extravagance, and a low turnover rate. More importantly, Grant will not cost Desmond Bane, who now has joined Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. as a part of the team's core infrastructure. This isn't to say the Grizzlies should hope the Pistons will acquire pennies on the dollar. Memphis has extra first-round picks on top of its own, including Zaire Williams, Brennan Clark, and Dylan Brooks, as well as a collection of short-term mid-level salaries, Kyle Anderson, DeAnthony Melton, and Tyus Jones to build packages around. Next up, Eric Gordon, Phoenix Suns. Given that Dario Saric is rehabbing from a torn right ACL and must be included to match wages in any substantial deal, small ball 5s are more desirable targets for the Suns. That isn't entirely inaccurate, but DeAndre Ayton is virtually matchup proof, and it wasn't a lack of microball that killed him in Phoenix during the 2021 NBA Finals. It is more crucial to diversify the offense. The Suns require a third ball handler who can handle more volume than Mikal Bridges or Cam Johnson, who can get to the rim faster than Cameron Payne and Landry Shamet, and whose name isn't Elfrid Payton. Around 37% of his shots are at the rim, which would put him first among Phoenix's non-bigs. He's on the smaller side at 6'4", but he's played a lot of wing minutes over the years and can camp out beyond the arc in stacked lineups with Devin Booker and Chris Paul. The cost will be an issue. Even if the Suns are under the tax, Saric, Jalen Smith, and selections will not be enough to replace Gordon's contract. They would need to bring in a third player or practice moving Payne. It's also uncertain what the Houston Rockets are willing to accept. The Suns won't be able to trade a first-round pick until 2024, which is a lofty order for a pretty injury-prone 33-year-old who is owed $19.6 million next season. However, broadening the limits to include other players and teams allows for greater flexibility and possibilities, as described here. Well guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to Top NBA, and hit that notification bell so that you never miss a video. We'll see you guys next time.